be in a theater like that with a first R-rated film, just a few GDs and everything else. I mean, the music was just fantastic. You just learn about people and just love Ray Charles in that film as well too. And of course, with all the
Oh
guys like
man.
Steve Cropper, Duck Dunn, and Willie Hall, Murphy Dunn, and those guys, and John Belushi and
Yes.
Dan Aykroyd. So it's like it's just amazing how everything just comes together, and I think somehow defines blues in Chicago as well too.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's a very that movie left a very big staple on the Chicago landmark, man. I mean, there's everybody and everywhere that tries to emulate what Aykroyd and Belushi and the rest of the band did, but I mean, there is only one of them. We all know that, but the legacy that they left behind, man, you can go almost anywhere in Chicago and find anybody imitating Blues Brothers. Actually, there was a funny story about that. A guy named Paul Burrell, he came up with a series called Blues Brother, and I played a guy Blue, and he plays my brother Chicky. That's actually available on YouTube. You can check that out. But it's basically centered. Every title of an episode is centered around a blues title, like "Messing with the Kid" and so forth. It's just really good, really cool.
That is amazing too, and just having something like that. And who would you say your biggest influences in your career are?
Oh man, in my career, wow. I mean, it's so hard to narrow it down because there's so many. You take bits and pieces from everybody. I have to say one of my biggest influences was probably I would probably say Richard Pryor.
Mm,
And
okay.
it was the only reason why he changed the landscape of what he was doing so much, and that's kind of what we want to do as creatives. We want to change things. We don't want to just be complacent and just be in it and just settle. We want to be able to go in there and really show our creative juices and get things changed. And I thought Richard Pryor brought that element to comedy. Not saying that he was the first to do it, but the style and the way he did it, it was just a notch higher to me than what had come before. Now there was Lenny Bruce and Red Fox and guys all along that line as far as like the type of comedy they were doing, but he just had a style, a swag of his own.
And of course, Eddie Murphy also comes to mind as well too. Your thoughts on
Oh
him?
yeah,
Just being
yes,
groundbreaking.
yes. Definitely Eddie Murphy along that way. Rodney Dangerfield was another one. I mean, you can go on and on. George Carlin, even.
Oh, my
They're
favorite.
just. All those guys, and I use comedy as an example because, like, for me, comedy stands out because comedy is real universal. So you get a lot of creativity because these are people that deal with people like face to face, right in front of them, like, while they're doing their stand up and all that type of stuff. And if you can succeed in that element, then the doors will open for you anywhere.
That sounds amazing too. And what do you think about today's comedians on stage?
I think they're good. There's a few that are good. I like some more. Let's see who else. Arnez J. I mean, there's a few that are good. But I don't particularly think that they're at that caliber yet because in today's media, man. I mean, you have to understand that the platforms are a lot different. So it's accessible anywhere. Whereas like those guys back then really had to own their craft. And not saying that comedians today are not talented. It's just a whole different structure.
Mm-hmm. It does sound amazing too, and how you compare, contrast, and everything else, but you still have those roots. And of course, we have a few minutes here with Andre Boyd. What are your favorite projects that stood out, and what you consider the most challenging and your most memorable moment? It can be funny, it can be heartwarming, or it can be a blooper.
All right. Well, my greatest challenge right now, I dabbled a lot as far as like in production with the short film. Where me and my guys were starting to do more of the feature length stuff now. We're starting to hit that curve because I've only been doing this for like a couple of years as far as like producing my own films. So we're starting to get more into the realm of feature length, and so the writing has changed, and you really have to know how to progress to writing. There's a saying like a page in a screen in a writing in a script is equal to a minute, but it varies, like when you're doing action movies and all that type of stuff. One of the more challenging projects, we're currently in production now with a short film called A Life Without. It's a very dramatic, emotional piece, and it was really hard to get through some of the parts of directing because our talent was really good, and they knew how to pour on, or they know how to pour on the emotion at the right time. There were a couple shots we were doing where the actors had to take like 5 minutes to get themselves together, and it was very silent because it's a very sad story. I cannot tell you what it is, but because I would ruin everything, I'd rather just have everybody see it. But it was very tough to move around that particular, let's say that particular scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the challenges I had, just keeping it together actually on set, and spearheading the whole project and keeping everybody moving and focused.
Okay. And what do you consider your most memorable moment?
Man, the most memorable moment when I first got on doing the acting stuff. I mean, when I got my first gig, I just couldn't believe I was actually doing it. I mean, I had wanted to be an actor for a long time, and when I got on my first gig, I had to pinch myself because it was really, really happening. And it was just like, and I didn't even care. It was an extra role, and I was just like, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually here. This is amazing.
It does sound amazing, too. And, of course, we got a man here before we let you go. We know you're a very busy gentleman. What advice would you give to people who are looking to get into acting or music? What advice would you give at this moment?
Don't let anybody tell you can't. I mean, if you let people dictate your course of your dreams, then your dreams are never going to come true. And it's very important that you keep that mind frame of succeeding in chasing your dreams. I always understand that life is very precious, and we only get one of these. So why not live it to the fullest? There's more to life than just going and existing. Do more than exist. Be there.
Well said. Thank you very much. And, of course, lastly, before we let you go here, give us your upcoming projects and where can we find your future films. Also, give us your website and how can people reach you?
Well, you can reach me on Instagram at The Almighty Dresta. I'm also on Twitter at The Almighty Dresta. And you can find me on Facebook. I don't have any legitimate websites because I don't really go that route. I believe in reaching people more in social media. You can find me on Dresta Films, DRAYSTA Films, on Facebook. And you can find me, Andre Boyd, ANDREBOYD, on Facebook as well. And just everybody, just keep doing what you want, doing what your mind is setting you to do, and just keep following the dreams.
That's a very good piece of advice, Andre. Thank you for your time, and we'd like to wish you all the best and look forward to having you on very soon. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mike. You have a great one. You've been listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios at themikewagnershow.com. Visit sonicwebstudios.com today for all your web design needs. If you would like to be a sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, call or text at 701-301-7705 or email to mike@themikewagnershow.com. If you're a listener and would like to support our program, visit themikewagnershow.com and click on the support button and donate today. Thanks for listening, and tune in again next time on The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com.